All right. Good morning and welcome to your Friday morning safety meeting. Today is June 9th. My name is John Harden. I'm in the safety department. Alongside of me is Mr. Dave White, who's also in the safety department. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, John. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's a great day outside. Happy to be here. Ready to go.
It is beautiful out there. So yeah, we're fortunate today, no doubt.
We are. So we could use a little rain, but it's really nice outside right now. So again, welcome to everyone here in Springfield, Missouri, Pittston, Pennsylvania, Salt Lake City. We're simulcasting this. We're also on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook this morning. If you're not able to be at a terminal, hopefully you're out there listening or watching if you're safely parked. If not, when you're safely parked later on this afternoon or this weekend, these are all recorded, so they're available to you to go back and listen to them. So, first thing, I see everybody out there eating their breakfast, and we've got Colby here, and we're going to talk about some health food here in a minute, but let's give everybody over here, John and his crew, a round of applause for the great breakfast they're providing this morning. Hopefully everyone's out there enjoying that. Folks in Pittston and Salt Lake City as well.
I'm going to put a little plug in for John. If you guys haven't listened to the Prime Ways podcast, the first one, Mitch did, and Clayton Brown and Jim Guthrie. Great job by those guys, but they had John Blancett on there, and his story is really interesting. And if you haven't listened to it, get on that podcast, just listen to the first one. And from there on, you'll probably want to listen to the second and third one because it's really interesting stories about some of our in-house people. And John doesn't get a lot of credit, I would say, because a lot of people don't even know who he is, but he handles all the food and beverage for Oasis, Fire and Ice, cafeterias, and all three locations. And he talks about that. He talks about growing up in Branson and all that. He's got a really unique story. So who he's cooked for, he's an executive chef. I didn't know that, but great story on him. But that new podcast we got going on, that's something else. It's pretty cool. I think you're on there too as well.
I am.
Another, second one or something like that?
So, I'm not for sure which one it is, but I know I recorded something.
That was awesome. But anyway, please, if you got some time, pull that up and take a listen to it. So.
Yeah, John's pretty phenomenal. I don't see him standing over there, but, some of his ice carvings, if you've ever seen those at events, are unbelievable.
And he talks about that, too. How'd you learn how to be an ice carver? I think Brienne asked him that because Brienne's with him, too, as well. And how'd you learn how to do that? And it's like, because you have to be artistic to a point to be able to do all those. And he said, come up with that mind. I know there's no way I could do it. I'd end up chopping the thing in half or something, but he does a wonderful job, no doubt. So.
Absolutely. Well, good deal. Let's go out east first. Let's go out to Pittston, Pennsylvania. Now, Rick, you out there this morning?
Hey, good morning. How's everybody doing?
We're doing great. How are you doing?
Hey, we're doing fantastic up here. We had a great week this week. A little smoky, but not a bad week.
I've seen that on the news. So how bad is it there in Pittston?
Well, today it's not too bad at all. It's clear skies, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was pretty bad. You couldn't see across the street almost.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that bad down there where you're at. So, well, good deal. What else is going on up there in Pittston?
Hey, we had a great class this week. A bunch of great group of drivers coming in and guys getting their CDL licenses, and the pad's running good down there doing their pre-trips. And matter of fact, we got some drivers here sitting at the table reading up on their pre-trips.
I see that. I see a lot of yellow vests there, which is outstanding.
Without growth, there is no growth, right?
Absolutely. I've heard that before.
Yeah, we have heard that.
All right. Well, good deal. If you guys have any questions, comments, if anybody needs anything, get a microphone in front of them, and please feel free to jump in and ask at any time today.
Hey, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, let's go out west to Salt Lake City. I think we got Aaron Ward out there. Aaron, are you there this morning?
All right. Good morning. Yes, we are here.
Man, that looked like a standing ovation right there. How much you give that guy?
Well, everybody gets free breakfast, and I pay him a little on the side too. So
that's not a bad idea. We need to think about that. Plan ahead a little bit better.
They'll probably give him high fives before he goes up on stage. He walks down the middle, everybody's standing up. Yeah.
That's right. Like Chicago Bulls entrance back in the 80s, right? Smoke.
Right. Get them hyped up.
So how's everything out in Salt Lake City this week?
It's great. The weather's been great. We're in a kind of a pattern where we're getting an afternoon storm every day and getting us a little bit of rain. So that's good. We'll take it. Temperatures are great, and everything's going good. We had a good class this week. A lot of people coming in to start their journey with Prime, which we're always happy to see. And as we've been talking about the last few weeks, we had the truck driving championship here last weekend, and we had some great results out of that. We had Anthony Eck, who lives here in Utah, take first place in the tanker division and second grand champion overall. And we had Roy Romo out of Washington State take first place in the sleeper berth division. And then finally, we had Ben Walker, who actually lives in Missouri, take second place in the 5-axle division.
Well, that's awesome. I know Dave's going to talk a little bit about that as well in Salt Lake and down in Branson. So that's awesome. Congratulations to everybody. How did that overall event work out up there for us this week?
It was great. It was a good learning experience for us. It was the first time we had hosted here in Utah, and everything went off pretty well without a hitch. There were so many spectators here that parking was a little bit of an issue, but we've got that ironed out for next year, and it was great.
I heard you had some help too. Scott Fisher was down there to work with our drivers, and unfortunately Scott wasn't able to compete, but that's great, man. Good turnout. Our drivers performed very well for the first time in Utah. Glad seeing that they get to go to nationals, so that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a really good event.
And you and Brian and Tyler, were you guys out there too as well, Aaron?
We were out there the entire day helping, and I mean, I was doing whatever needed to be done. I was running people back and forth on the golf cart because of the parking that was kind of far away, and we were just making sure our team was taken care of and ready to compete.
That's awesome. Way to prepare them. We appreciate that. And yeah, that's what it's about right there as a driver, is just what he's talking about, no doubt. So anything else, Aaron, you want to add?
I don't think so. I think we're in good shape out here.
All right. Well, good deal. If you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to jump in as well. And let's come back here to Springfield, Missouri. Good morning, everybody. Now, for all of you in Pittston and Salt Lake, we got a really big standing ovation. You guys can't see it on camera, I know, but I just wanted to mention that. So
I think they're doing the wave right now, John.
Yes, so a little disruptive, but it's all right. So good morning, welcome. We are glad that you're here. If this is your first Friday morning safety meeting, this is your first week here at Prime, just starting, whether you're as a student coming into the CDL, regardless of what terminal you're at, we'd like for you to stand up right now and recognize you and welcome you to the Prime family, and just say that we greatly appreciate the decision you made to be here. It's outstanding. And I can tell you, we do the routing, the vetting's pretty hard to get in right now. So if you're here, it says a lot about your skill set, you as a person, and the ability to come on right now is outstanding. So we're very happy that you're here. Any questions that you have, feel free to reach out. You'll hear a lot of speakers throughout the morning here. And just to let you know, Prime's a very transparent company. You have access. Your card will get you into any door. You can talk to your fleet manager. You can go meet your payroll person, your log advisor. Come down and say hi to us in the safety department. Anywhere you want to go. So I know we get a lot of folks that come in from other companies that'll call in, especially when I was a fleet manager. And I'd say, hey, you're here on the yard. I haven't met you yet. Why aren't you here? And their response was, well, I didn't know I could come in and see you. Well, that's exact opposite here. We encourage it. We want you to have that face-to-face meeting and relationship with your fleet manager and anybody that you deal with, road assist as well. I forgot them. So feel free to make yourselves at home here, and we're glad you're here.
And probably payroll is one of the biggest too as well.
Absolutely.
No doubt. So yeah, our safety department, we don't bite. We're here to help you. I know there's other companies out there. A lot of drivers say, hey, I don't want to go see my safety department. But here at Prime, hopefully you do. And if you ever want to review your safety record, what inspections you have out there, maybe accidents, incidents, anything like that, critical events, we're here to show you and help you out. And by all means, I take that as a driver that really cares who comes by and wants to look at that information and go over it, because that's what makes you better, and that's what we want. You know, all the new hires in here, we have tightened down on our hiring criteria, especially on rehires too, is just as well. We want the best of the best here working. And so if you're in here, you've been selected, hopefully you've done your research on us. Hopefully you looked at Prime and said, do I really fit here? Am I going to be welcome here? Because I mean, that's what we want too. It's a two-way street. We want you to be successful. And that's what we're all here for. Our in-house associates is to make you successful. We're not here to play basketball out there, even though we got some beautiful amenities here, but we're here to make you successful. And that's what it is at the end of the day. So welcome.
Absolutely. So does anybody have any questions to this point so far? All right. Well, Dave, you want to talk about inspections this week?
Yeah, this past week I got to look over the inspections, only 118. So I got a break, man. You guys were a little jealous, you and Bill.
You can do it next week too.
No, thanks. So 118 inspections this past week, 85 of those were clean, so a 72% clean rate. So great job. Give yourself a round of applause. That's awesome. Couple incidences, I should say, if I could speak right, popped up, and one of those was missing scales. And I had a couple drivers come in on a review on this as well. And it seems like we're having some issues as far as relying upon the drive-wise to tell us if a scale's open or not, and you know, just going off of that. Sometimes drive-wise will not tell you if there's a scale there as well. So I had an individual at my desk, a driver this past week. He's up in New York, and they put a portable scale up at a rest area. He goes, well, I thought I saw a sign that said something like all trucks pull in, but he goes, I wasn't for sure. And he goes, my drive-wise didn't go off, so I went on by it. You can't do that. You know, you need to be prepared. I know New Mexico has those. So does Kansas, Nebraska. There's a number of states that'll put up little portable scales, and they're just spot checking. But if they say, hey, you got to pull in, you got to pull in. You just can't go on by it. I realize we got some great technology on our trucks, but remember, you know, it's just a tool that DriveWise is. It's not the rule all the time. So go ahead, sir. Question?
Talking about scales, don't forget Georgia. They got signs out.
Yep, Georgia.
DriveWise don't work.
There you go. Georgia's got brake stations too, brake areas on 24, I think it is, Mount Eagle. You got to check your brakes as a commercial vehicle, so they want you to pull in. Make sure you're ready to go down the other side. Make sure they've cooled off and you're prepared to go, and your equipment, more importantly, is prepared to go. So that's why they do that. And there's many other states too as well. I know Utah has them. So be prepared. Be looking out. You got to be scanning, watching for those signs, because if you miss one and there's an enforcement officer there, they'll let you know you missed it real quick. So that's a gimme, and then that inspection can lead to other violations. So. But overall, John, we did a pretty good job, no doubt.
Yes, we did. And so everybody out here that's new, this may be your first meeting you're listening to, which sometimes I think that I forget, take for granted. So, you know, on average, the best that we can tell across the industry, other companies are sitting in that low 30s to mid 30% range. So we're, you know, double.
Yeah, we're doing
outstanding to you guys. So thank you for that.
That's what drives our safety scores. So let's keep it going. Let's move that. You know, 72% is awesome, but I know we've gotten higher before, so let's keep it going.
Absolutely. So, you know, one thing that I'm going to talk about a little bit this morning here, how many of you read the weekly safety staple that comes out in the Prime app to your phone?
All right.
A few of you here. These guys are just bashful.
That or they're full from breakfast, won't you?
Could be. So hopefully everybody sees this. You know, we are really open to anything that you would like to hear, you know, or see written in that. So if you have any ideas, come up to us after the meeting and let us know if you've got something you'd like to see on there. But, you know, this week, the message that was sent out is one that's kind of been sent out before, a little bit reworded. And again, you know, we got to kind of keep in mind that this could be somebody's first week here, first safety meeting, first weekly safety staple that you're reading. So we talked about this in a meeting a couple of weeks ago, but just generally speaking, you know, we want you to be safe from start to finish, start of the day to finish of the day. Whenever you think about safety, you really think about driving down the road, you know, safe speeds for the conditions that you're in, safe following distances, again, for the conditions you're in. And you guys do a great job of that. Overall, you guys do a really good job of that. Our accidents per million miles are pretty good, really good, matter of fact, especially across the industry. But, you know, 75% of our preventable incidents and accidents, if you go back over the past 3 years, are low speed, backing, fixed object, or parked vehicle. So all of those right there, 75% of our accidents are those types of accidents, which means these are the beginning of the day, end of the day, type accidents, typically at a customer, whether it's a shipper, receiver, truck stop, those are the common places that we see these. So, we want you to remain focused 100% of the time, start to finish. Make sure that, you don't let your guard down until you're out of the truck, you're off duty, logged out of the Qualcomm, and you're ready to take your break, go get a shower, go get some food, whatever the case may be. So anything you want to add to that, Dave?
Yeah, John hit it right on the spot. Don't let your guard down. That's the easiest to do. I remember years ago when I drove, and that was 2 of my accidents right there happened in truck stops. Because I pull in there and you kind of relax, get fuel, go around, try to park, find a park. And those situations there, you're kind of ready to get inside, take a shower, go eat, do whatever you need to do there. And it's easy to let your guard down, not keep an eye on your mirrors or not swing wide enough or something like that. And so remember, hey, don't let your guard down until you get totally parked, secure, right where you want to be. Then it's time to relax, set the brakes, get out and do your thing then too. So got a comment over here, Julie? Maybe?
The last couple of weeks before I came in, I'm turning my lease, but before I came in, I was noticing a lot. I don't know if it's the young ones that just ain't quite acclimated to all of our process or whatever, but pulling out into traffic, making like if it's a 4-way coming out of a truck stop going, they'll pull out, make the cars to the left stop, and then wait for the ones to the right to clear. And that's not really a legal maneuver.
That is true. You got to make sure you have a clear distance on both sides, going both directions. How many leases you been through, Julie? You said you just completed one.
It's 7 or 8. I've lost. Truly, I've lost count.
That's awesome. Yeah, Julie Barnett, she participated. I'm going to talk about that real quick. Can I switch gears on that?
I was getting ready to ask you another question about that.
Oh, go ahead.
So, no, talk about it.
No, I was going to talk about her participating in the truck driving championship. So, okay, go with it. All right. Yeah, Julie was down in Branson last weekend, and she participated in the state TDC and participated in the tanker division, did a great job for us. She's one of our drivers we had down there, the 15. So we were very successful at the TDC down there. Don Cook, one of our operators, he drives the Cookie Monster truck, him and his wife Doreen, but Don finished first place down there in pre-trip. I have 185 drivers. Yeah, big round of applause for Don. That's awesome.
You need to tell him what he scored because that was pretty awesome in itself.
He did, yeah. So Don scored, he maxed it out 100 out of 100, but he also tied another driver from another company. He also got 100 out of 100. Don won because his time was quicker. He got through the pre-trip faster than the other driver, and that's what they go off of, his time. So that's the tiebreaker. So that's the only second time we've won that award here at Prime. That is my 21 years of doing this. So that's awesome for Donnie, and it's great to see that pre-trip award come home here because that's very special. That's one award that 185 drivers are all going for, and we're able to bring it here, and courtesy of Don Cook. So thank you, Don. And if you see him out there on the roadway, Cookie Monster truck, that's it, man. Give him a wave, give him a honk. If you see him at a truck stop, tell him congratulations. That's special. Also, flatbed division, Dwayne Grimm got second place. I think Dwayne's up in Salt Lake City with Aaron. So give a big round of applause for Dwayne. That flatbed class had a lot of competitors in there with many years of experience. Dwayne fought and tooth and nail, did a great job getting second place. So we're very proud of him. And he's won about every year here at Prime. You're going to see getting a trophy. Very seldom does he not get one. So he's got that TDC down. And, next year I know he'll be right back at it and competing and wanting to get first place too as well. So last year he went first place in tanker, going to nationals. And this year he's one spot off, but in order to go to nationals, they got to stay accident free. And nothing against the guy that got first place. I hope he doesn't have an accident, but if he does, Dwayne will be slid right up there to first place then, and he'll be representing Prime if the driver has an accident. So, and let's talk about the TDC real quick too as well. I need to mention before I jump base here, we had a number of other drivers, John, that did really well. 4-axle, Don Cook again, I just talked about, he finished 5th place overall. Devin Berkwin, he's a five axle competitor. He got fourth place. He's a rookie driver as well. So good job to Devin. Flatbed, Sean Daves got fourth place, and Thomas Miller and Tanker got fourth. So we had a number of drivers just one spot out of getting a trophy. And I know some of our operators are a little bit upset that we didn't do better, but I think we did very well overall. And it's tough competition here in Missouri. And we got 185 drivers, and many of them very well experienced. But we hold our own every year down there, so proud of them to do that.
So if I want to get in this, do I have to drive at Prime for 10 years before I can qualify, or how do I do that?
No, we don't. No, matter of fact, we had a number of rookies. We had 4 or 5 rookies on our team this year, and you can make that. Come September 1st, I even looked this date up, Johnny. I was a little bit prepared. Can you believe it? September 1st, the Prime Truck Driving Championship will be here in Springfield. That's the Friday before the picnic. Saturday, we have our company picnic. Everybody's welcome to come to that, too. But in order to compete for the Prime TDC, you got to have your CDL, and that's it. So you could be a second seat, you can be an A seat, it doesn't matter. Just so you have your CDL. Your accident history ticket doesn't matter neither. It's for fun. We'll be out here on the training pad. We'll start about 5 o'clock. We usually do underneath the lights. We'll turn on the lights out there, and Stan Casterkey and his training staff help me set up a course. There'll be 6 problems to run, and it's not how fast you get them, but it's how close you get to these problems. So it may be a backing problem, maybe a right turn, a left turn, and we see how close you can get to. I know we stand up here every Friday and we preach about staying away from objects. Well, this is a little bit different. We want to see how close you can get and really test the skills of our drivers and our operators. It's the same thing at state and same thing at nationals. It really tests their skills and their focus and concentration. And some days you have it and some days you don't. That's fine too. But just for here at Prime, it's for fun. And we want everybody to compete. Last year, I think we had 70 some drivers out there. John Blansett and his staff, they'll have a big barbecue set up. There'll be plenty of food and drink, and we'll have music going, and we have a good time with it. So please, mark that on your calendar. We'll come back to it in another couple of weeks. We'll talk again. So another question?
I think maybe in the back.
Way in the back?
Was there a question in the back, maybe?
Okay.
No, maybe not. So,
okay.
So again, exactly what Dave said. And I've kind of heard, man, we got the same people in there every year, and if you think I can go in there and do that, sign up and get in here and come challenge these folks that have been here and that you see every year, that you hear about every year. But I'll tell you, they're there for a reason every year. So bring your A game.
They are, no doubt. And big congrats again to Roy Romo and Anthony Eck out of Utah. They'll be going to Columbus, Ohio. I believe that's August 16th through the 19th, competing in nationals. And that's the Super Bowl of truck driving. And it's really, they bring in thousands of people out there to watch this and to participate. And it is interesting to really watch. And it's all about safety. It brings all these companies together. Good culture goes on and good talk. And you get to meet a bunch of different company executives and representatives and drivers, and they're all great at what they do. So, and that's what they get to experience come August. So congrats to them.
All right. Well, how about we bring up somebody else? Let them talk for a little bit.
We have been chatting a little long time, haven't we?
Who's our first speaker this morning?
All right, from Driver Health and Wellness, we have Colby and Rachel. So come on up. Colby, you don't have your coffee cup. What's the deal? You don't have your coffee cup.
My coffee cup's over there, my Gibson donut one. So, hey guys, good morning. I'm Colby with the Driver Health and Fitness. This is Rachel, our dietitian.
Good morning.
Just want to take a second and tell you guys, we finished up our Fit in 15 competition. We had about 290 participants. I just want to tell you the 3 winners I want to announce. They're not here, but the announcements, we had Dave Shepard was our winner, and I've talked to all them. Stacy Woodward is also a winner, and Leon Carr was another winner. So let's give it a round of applause for them. So just to give you an idea too, we had, and it's not always about weight loss in this one though, our top 10 total people that participated with our participation lost about 140 pounds. So that was really cool. We had some people that actually, I think Rachel, one of them participant was really close to almost complete 100% participation, right? Every class, whether that's nutrition, workouts, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, so they were able to do all of the workouts that were filmed in and out of the truck, all of the nutrition guidance, the nutrition education. And in that way, they were able to really create sustainable habits while they did the program. So yeah, like they had the weight loss, but they also created the habits that will help them to keep the weight off long-term, which is what we're aiming for.
Yeah, we did. We saw a lot of that. And I think that was something new that I love to see from our team is that we were able to create that sustainability for some of our drivers, right? So we saw more people this year participate for a longer period of time. And so that was a 3-month competition, but we do have one that's called the Fit in 15 Lifestyle that's on our website. It's, again, free to every driver. You can participate in it, but all that information is a part of that. So it helps create that sustainability over time. So I'm trying to think the other thing we're going to talk about smoothie stuff, right? You want to talk about that?
Sorry. So me and Brooklyn, after the meeting, if you want to try out some smoothies that are super easy to make in your truck, come by over after the meeting. And we also have a mystery ingredient that's very healthy for you. And if you can guess what it is, then you get a prize. So
perfect. So again, the whole thing about the smoothies, we keep going on every week or every time we're on here. We want to create new things for you guys that can kind of show you some other ways to help, decrease some expenses, maybe find ways to cost savings, but also increase nutrition, right? So we talked about a typical smoothie you're making is what, $2.75 to $3?
Yep, max like $3, and you get awesome fruits, veggies, and it's really easy to get your protein into. So smoothies are a great way to get a whole meal, really.
Right, your whole meal. And we talked about before, and I know we've said it before, but that could be a normal breakfast nutritionally that you may get some things you don't need, but also on top of that, what you are getting could be $12 to $15. So you could talk $9 to $10 in savings in one meal. So just things to think about, but we'll be over here. And I have my card with me too, with our YouTube channel on it with all these things, and everybody other locations, they have my cards too. So, all right. Thanks guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Colby. Thank you, Colby and Rachel. You gotta get John back up here. He's supposed to be running the show, man. Come on. Drinking your coffee? What are you doing?
Daryl's distracting me over there.
No, but it's great information by Colby and Rachel. The healthy driver is a safer driver. We believe that 100%. So yeah, if you're not on their program or you're interested, or even if you're 100% healthy, you still want to visit with them, feel free. Stop in. They got some good information and good ideas. So
absolutely. So they're here for you. So make sure you reach out and utilize them. So let's bring up leasing now. We haven't had leasing up here in a little bit. We've got Haley and Dana from our leasing department that can come up here and talk this morning.
They're going to show us up, John.
I know.
Good morning, everyone. Hello. I'm Haley.
I'm Dana.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So we just want to mention a couple of things that we're working on for you guys. We are working on electronic contracts right now. Or not contracts, inspections to be like our electronic contracts. So you'll be able to attach pictures, adjust your comments. You guys will have a copy saved for you in your Prime app as well, like you do your contracts. We've been working on this for like 6 months, and I went over and kind of added some comments and things like that. So hopefully, it won't be too much longer until we can be able to roll that out for you guys.
For all you newer drivers, when you come to Success Leasing, we give you an inspection form. There's about 30 pages to it. We want you to be very detailed on the inspection form. This is just a different way to make it a little bit easier for everybody so that it's in your Prime app all the time. We're going to have some hover features on there. If you have some questions about certain things on the truck, this should just be an interactive inspection form. You can take pictures. Dana's getting it so it can be saved in the app for you as well. This will also help the turn-in process as well. So you will always have the inspection form on hand, just like your contracts.
Yeah. So we'll also have like links, if there's questions right now, there may be questions. You guys have to come into leasing and ask us, hey, what is this? There'll be links in this to help. Obviously we'll still be there for questions, but we are trying to make it a lot easier and more efficient. And then you guys will always have that copy because it's hard to remember when you turn your truck in at the end of lease what you wrote on your inspection. So we definitely want to make sure you guys always have that copy. You can always compare those notes and things like that.
Wonderful. Another thing we're going to chat about really quickly is our ordered truck process, lease purchase trucks. It's a huge benefit with Success Leasing. Drivers love it. It's wonderful. So after you've been leasing for 3 months, you can order a truck with Success. You can either order a standard lease truck, which is no money down. You'll run that truck for 3 years, get your incentive at the end, or you can order a lease purchase truck. That requires $14,000 down. But you get $1,000 off for every year you've been leasing with Success up to 6 years. So the down payment can be as low as $8,000. We do require $5,000 upfront when you order the truck, and then the rest is due when you come to pick it up. When you all order a truck, you can customize this. All of the options are on our website at successleasing.com. So you can click that, pick some extras. We order Peterbilt and Freightliners through the website. We are getting a few Volvos. So if you would like a Volvo, you just need to come speak with myself or Chelsea. We sit right next to each other in Success Leasing. and we can get your name by a Volvo. If you would like to put, I've had a few people wanting to put more money down recently. The max that we will do is $25,000. And then when you would like to purchase it, buy it. If you don't want to go to the end, you can purchase it outright in 18 months.
And then I'm going to mention real quick also through the summertime for you guys, we've have extended hours as well. So before we used to be open just until noon on Saturdays. So we are open till 5 on Saturdays, and it's me. I'm here till 5 on Saturdays, 5 on Sundays. You will see me. Other than this weekend, I'm taking vacation. So starting next weekend again, I will be here all day, Saturday, Sunday. So you guys will show trucks all day Saturday. You know, if there's a need for it, I will do it Sunday as well. I'm here for questions if you guys need anyone through the summer for now.
Wonderful. One last thing, Daryl always wants me to mention this, or us to mention this. Don't forget your retention and rewards. So if you are off of a truck, you're going home for home time, you're taking a break, guys, we totally understand that. We want you to go see your families and relax and get re-energized, but do not forget to be back, to check in with Success Leasing, to have a truck within 59 days. Everything, all of your benefits and your rewards with Success Leasing goes by your longevity. So if you have a break more than 59 days, you start all over with us. You earn forgiven lease payments, retention and rewards, mileage discounts, tons of different things. So please keep that in mind to make sure you're in a truck within 59 days. Any questions? Yes, sir. Hold on, I'm so sorry. Pressure's on. Come on. Let's go.
I was wondering what are all the benefits of the second program y'all got for lease drivers? The one where you need 14,000 down.
It's really just how you want to do it. So if you do a standard lease, it's a wonderful program. That's that's our bread and butter is their standard lease program. You earn forgiven lease payments with that. You can get a loaner truck with a standard lease, really. And then at the end of that lease, you get an incentive. So it's your total authorized dispatch miles times 0.0525. So the harder you run, the bigger your incentive is going to be. If you do the lease purchase, it requires money up front. You don't earn forgiven lease payments. You don't have a tire fund. There's just a few different odds and ends about it. But at the end of the lease purchase program, the truck is yours. You don't give it back to us. There's a $100 balloon payment, and then Dana will get you the title. Hi, Paul.
Haley, from the time somebody orders a truck to the time it arrives, what is that dwell time now? Because it used to be forever.
So right now our lead time is about 4 months. We're ordering for the month of October, and then we're just going to continue to move on each month. So next month we'll order for October, November. Yeah. Trucks is getting much better. Parts aren't a huge delay. Things are moving faster. So that's a great thing. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I can't see the poll.
Thank you. And
hello.
Hi, I like your pink and purple.
Thank you.
Y'all look cute. Okay, so successleasing.com, is that where you go if you're owner, operator, or if you're doing the lease, straight lease?
Like, are you like to check in or to order a truck?
Order a truck.
You'll go to successleasing.com, and then on the top right-hand side, it says new order trucks, and you'll do that there. And there's probably about 4 to 5 different pages. So you'll click your manufacturer that you want, then you'll click your color, some extras. I will say too, if you are wanting to do extras, there's tons of options, carpet in the sleeper, chicken lights, whatever. We can divide that over 10 weeks if you have been leasing more than a year.
And you will order both an ACE lease and standard lease on the same website. Yes.
So in order to do the add-ons, that's going to be, can that go onto company, like pull out of your check, or?
So we don't order for company. We just order for lease operators. But yes, if you have been leasing with us more than a year and then you go to order the truck, we can pull that out of your settlement for 10 weeks. If not, you have to pay for the extras up front, and then we'll order the truck.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, of course. With that being said, one last thing that I'll be done.
I've got a question over here.
Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
We've got some Kenworth fans. Any chance of getting lease with Kenworth or lease purchases?
Not at this time. We got 50 about a year ago, and we're sticking with that. So,
okay,
unfortunate. What was my last bit of advice? Can't remember. I'm not great. Okay. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you for all you do. We appreciate it. Oh my gosh, this is a big one. Duh. We're going to do a Facebook Live. Do we have Instagram too? Are we going to be live on Instagram? Okay, live on Facebook, live on Instagram, Monday or Tuesday, Jamie will announce, but we're trying to get it together. And we're just going to take a tour of a Peterbilt. So our wonderful Peterbilt rep, Seth, will be back there, and he will he will be on the live with us as well. So you guys can ask questions. We're going to show features. We're just going to go in and out of the truck. Once we do Peterbilt, we'll go through Freightliner, Volvo, and do all the trucks for you. So be thinking of questions that you're curious about each OEM, and I'll be there, Jamie will be there, and we'll have our reps there. It'll be great. Okay, have a great day.
They get a round of applause, John.
I know. So great job, great information.
Yeah.
If you guys have another question you think of that you didn't quite think of just then, they're going to stick around. If not, they'll be up here in the leasing department in the Z building on the main level after the meeting's over. So do you have a question? No? Let us get a microphone in front of you real quick.
I was wondering on the leasing thing, because I'm an outside independent owner op. I work for another company that works for Prime, and I want to start a fleet eventually. So do we go through the success program?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear any of it. This makes loud.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
So I work for an outside independent company that works for Prime, and I want to eventually start a fleet.
Okay.
So do we go through the success?
So you would have to then be hired on like through recruiting in order to start leasing with Success. So if you're working for BLC or whoever you're working for, you would have to then come onto the Prime side, be hired on through recruiting, and then you can lease a truck. And then after 3 months, order one.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, good deal. Any more questions real quick? All right, let's
I think
move
we
on.
need to bring Colby back up here real quick. He had a couple of ideas he forgot. So go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, so you guys are talking about your podcast. So we are DHF. We're starting a podcast, actually Healthier Highway, that we're going to have. It'll be released in a few weeks. We're going to have drivers on, other professionals of different types. So we'll talk about everything across the board, but you can get on our website also and kind of let us know what you want us to talk about too. So if you want to hear some things, so there's a few drivers we want to kind of lean on also, maybe some habits you guys have that can be useful. So that's it. Healthier Highway will be out. So, okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, man. Lots of additions coming out, Johnny.
Absolutely.
Got to stay on top of them.
I know, I just started this week, so being healthier.
There you go. You and me
painful.
both. Yeah, we'll see what happens, hopefully. Yeah. Go ahead. What do you got next, buddy?
All right, we're going to bring up Justin Kaufman here with some new trailer updates from our maintenance department.
All right, Justin. Haven't heard from him in a while. Good to see him. You still look the same.
Well, thank you for that. So appreciate that. So I'm Justin Kaufman, Spec and R&D Manager for Prime. I want to talk a little bit today about some of our new equipment that we're getting in. Mainly trailers is going to be my talking point. But we've got a few issues. You know, we've got some beautiful utility trailers that are being delivered down in to Eagle Pass, and then we've got some coming out of Hyundai as well down in Southern California. And so, if Richard can get my PowerPoint queued up here, you know, with these new challenges we have, or with these new trailers, we've seen a few issues. One is airlines rubbing on the Sherlock steps. And we've been working with utility on this. And I just wanted to show some photos of things to look for whenever you're doing a pre-trip, en-route, post-trip inspection. Here you can see in the left photo, the rear of the trailer, the Sherlock steps, and the airlines wrapping around down near the bottom of the Sherlock step. But, you know, we've seen issues with a few of these new trailers being delivered, 2023, 2024 utility trailers, where those lines are actually rubbing on that Sherlock step. So just something to keep an eye out for as you're doing your inspections. And once again, if these lines are rubbed to the point that they're causing damage to the line, you know, that's a DOT. That could be, you know, that could definitely be a fix-it ticket and a violation. Whereas if they're rubbing to the point that they get into that second layer or that reinforcement ply layer of that airline, then that could be an out of service. So keep an eye out for that. And what I'll say is that we are actively inspecting these in our campaign bays or our inspection bays, plaza bays, and there's a campaign that is coming. We've already got hoses for it, where we're going to go through and fix these trailers and kind of get the lines more out of harm's way of that Sherlock step. So moving on, we've also seen a few issues with top kits on some of the newer trailers kind of peel off. And what I'll say on this is, this is a couple specific groups of trailers, okay? So what we've seen is some of our CIMC Vanguards, we received 100 CIMC band cards, trailer 247,000 through 247,099, where they didn't get the top kit sealed good enough up front. Not in all cases, just some cases. And so what I'll say is, if you see these, make sure to report them to Road Assist so that we can, kind of get a game plan on how we're going to go about getting them taken off of there so that they don't come off. So if you see some of these sitting at a shipper or the receiver, message your Road Assist advisor, send photos in, because photos are worth a million words. And we'll get a game plan to make sure that we're safe to roll. So there is a campaign coming on those as well. Also, the very first batch of utility trailers that came out of Clearfield, this is a super small group of trailers, but I wanted to mention it. We found some cases where the air chute was not properly attached to the adapter bar. This is a group of 100 trailers out of Clearfield, 243,000. We're campaigning these, we're attacking them, but once again, we're not really sure how many got missed, but we have seen a few, and I wanted to bring it up. On the next group, how many flatbedders have we got in here? Raise your hand, flatbedders. All right. You may already know about this, you may have seen it, but we've seen a few shock plate mounts break. And to the left, there's a photo of a shock plate mount breaking and kind of falling on the ground and dragging. And to the right, I've got a photo there of how you can go about inspecting that. All right. So what we've seen with these shock mounts is that the bolts have started to get loose, and that shock mount plate has vibrated, and then it finally breaks apart. Right. And so, but if you can look and keep in mind, these are only on skateboards. These are only flats. They're not on step decks. At least the problem is not on step decks. It's only on the flats. But if you get under that front axle, and you'll see the shock mount plate bolts right there, the nuts coming out the backside. You can actually reach in there, and that's me yesterday checking them out on the yard. But you can actually just reach up in there and check and see whether they're loose or not, on both sides. And if they're loose, then that's whenever you'll want to make sure to report that to Road Assist. We'll get a game plan. We're doing the same thing with these trailers. So we're going to be inspecting them, and we already have been for some time now, inspecting these trailers as they go through our inspection bays, and making sure that they're caught and they're good. But, it's definitely, worthwhile mentioning, because like I said, we've had a few of these happen on the road. We're starting to get campaign parts in now. And we'll be campaigning these shock plates on all these trailers at all of our terminals as well.
Yeah, I've been noticed on the 2000 trailers, 2021, 22. The air chutes are real paper thin. They don't last. I know the new trailers got the more robust air chute.
Okay. Yeah, is that yeah, I'll have to check into that because they should be nylon chutes, but maybe we ended up putting something different in there.
Yeah, you did, because they're tear easily.
Okay.
Detached from the roof. A pain. I blame Paul Higgins for that.
Okay. All right.
Do you know what size nut it is that on that skid plate that's dropping? So that way at least I can tighten it up till I can get it to maintenance bay?
I did not get that, but see me after the meeting and I'll get that out there. I can't remember what size that is.
Take one more right over here.
Hey, long-time listener, first-time caller. I've had an issue in the past, for the few trailers in the past couple loads, that I'll have to get up there and fix the chute. only saving grace I've had is that I carry double-sided tape. But usually in a lot of trailers on the left door, there was always a little pack glued on there with rivets for the chute. And almost all the trailers I've hauled recently don't have them. So if I didn't have the double-sided tape, I wouldn't be able to, I'd have to go get that trailer repaired.
Yeah, I know, and we'll talk about that in our plaza meeting with Bud Tim over here. I know that they're working hard to get those packets put back in there. They've got a big pile of them in inbound last time I looked. So, but we'll make sure to attack that hard. Thanks for bringing that up. But we want those to be there.
All right.
Any other questions? One thing I wanted to plug real quick is pro maintenance class is now Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. So, you know, these things like repairing chutes or doing inspections, if some of the photos I showed up here today do not look familiar or you want to learn more about them, pro maintenance is an excellent path to learn more about it, right? We'll actually teach you how to do hand-on repairs there. You know, it's a really good thing. And one last thing is that Road Assist Department has opened up an emergency line now, and with zero wait time. And so whenever you dial into your Road Assist advisor, there's going to be an option for one, if it's an emergency, or it's just 3 to talk to your advisor. But I think it's important as this gets rolled out that if it's an emergency, they want to attack it. They want to get all over it. You know, and an emergency would be if you're broke down on the side of the road, you know, where you're in an unsafe position, and or if there's a load that's in dire need or in jeopardy. So I think as we prioritize those emergency calls, everything will roll out and the success of it will be a much greater thing. So, but if I can be of any help, if you have any new trailer spec issues, feel free to talk to me. I'll be over here at the end of the meeting.
All right, thank you very much, Justin. Oh, go ahead. We got a question from another terminal, I think.
Justin, come back here, man. Don't run away on me.
All right.
All right, so this is something that actually has kind of gone, I guess, by the wayside. It hasn't been mentioned in a long time, but I noticed that back in the day, if you will, when we opened our trailer doors up to back into a dock, the reefer would automatically turn off. And I noticed that over time, I guess trailers have been being bypassed, but they seem to all now continue running when you open the doors to back in. Are we supposed to be turning those off, or are they supposed to be set up to automatically turn off, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, that's the door switch, and so they are set up on the carriers and Thermo Kings to turn the reefer off whenever the doors are open. Now, with that being said, the door switch on the carrier, and we've had some problems, maintenance issues, keeping that switch working, so we've seen where some of those, may be bypassed because of a failed switch. And what I'll say is if the unit shuts off due to an open door and you report to Road Assist that there's a problem and we override it, I think it's important that we just get that trailer in, make a note, and this is on our side, put a note on it so that we can get it fixed. But, there have been some maintenance challenges with those door switches. I think it's, one good thing is we've got Thermo Kings, or we're testing some Thermo Kings. We got more of those coming into the fleet. We'll probably have close to 1,000 by the end of the year. And we're going to see how their door switch does as well. So.
Right, but we do not want to turn those off. We're supposed to use, if they're not turning off automatically, we should be turning those off as we back into the docks, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, we do not want the reefer running whenever we're loading, because what you're doing is you're circulating hot air. You can ice up the evaporator, and you'll have to run it through multiple defrosts. So, whenever the doors are open, you're backed in and loading. That was kind of the purpose of that door switch, is to make sure that the unit is turned off whenever you're backed into a dock and loading. Now, with that being said, if that customer is saying something different, I think that's whenever that needs to be relayed up through your fleet manager, who can work with sales with that customer, and then we can make the determination, what do we need to do in that case? But whenever we're backed in there, and circulating that warm air, in that evaporator, that can certainly cause some problems.
Let's go one more question right here.
I was just wanting to make a comment. We really need to educate our shippers and receivers because not only do they ask us to pre-cool it, but they want us to leave it running.
To what?
The customers, the shippers, the receivers, they need to be educated a little more, I think, on the, gee, you're just sucking hot air in here, guys, but
If you run into that
they
at a
want-
customer, get with your fleet manager. Keith, you want to answer that one?
Yeah, that's pretty common at a number of locations that have these QA people that have convinced the shippers of the loading facility that the reefer has to be running. We do run into that. We do talk to them about that. We do send them all the information on why it shouldn't be running. But at the end of the day, if the QA person at the facility says the reefer has to be running, then they're going to override it and it's going to leave it running. So, but we do combat that. We do want to hear about that. We will challenge the shippers on it and the customers about that. But it's not something that's going to get fixed short term. It's a long-term engagement with them.
All right, thank
for
you.
bringing that up, Keith.
Let's, if you don't mind, or go ahead, we'll do one more question, then we're going to have to move on.
If you're backed up at, for instance, Walmart, when you back up to Walmart and the doors are open and it shuts off and you got a frozen load on there, and it might be 2 hours before they start unloading your truck, and your truck doors are the unit is shut off, it's going to be, they may turn it down because of out of temp.
Well, yeah, and I think once again, you need to have a conversation with that shipper, and if it's going to shut off, hey, whenever my doors are open, my unit shuts off, unload the product. You can work that through fleet manager, and we want to make sure the product is safe. But our units are set up to turn the reefer off whenever the doors are open if it's mechanically working right.
We're going to actually get some more on that here in just a minute. We'll ask when our next speaker comes up, we're going to talk about cargo claims. So we'll ask that they kind of answer that and tag along to that as well. So, all right, Justin, thank you very much. And if anybody else has any questions at all that come up, I know that's a very popular topic there. We've got our whole crew over here. I mean, the best of the best. We've got Kevin Bergman, Doug Tam, Chris Holtmeyer. I mean, these folks are available. Your dispense over here after the meeting, so make sure you hit them up.
There you go. We want to do a little housekeeping?
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, over here we got Richard and Carla. If you have any questions on your Prime mobile app or have problems with it, make sure you see them after the meeting. Or if you need to call in too, if you're out there on the road and you're having issues with it, make sure you give us a call, get the IT department involved. They'll help you with the Prime mobile app. Also, any future topics you want us to talk about, maintenance, payroll, you name it, safety, operations, hey, give us a holler. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll try to get somebody up here who can address your question or your issue as well. So, and John, earlier this week, June 6th, was a very important day in history. Anybody know what happened June 6th? D-Day, that's right. So, and this is something we do every Friday here. We always remember our deployed veterans overseas, and D-Day was the largest ground invasion of any war that we've had in this world, and lost a lot of troops then. And we haven't taken a moment of silence. Maybe we need to do that here, but let's do a moment of silence for everybody we've lost during D-Day this past week. All right. Thank you very much for that time. And you'll see a lot of us wearing red up here. Reason is, remember everyone deployed. We always want to remember our troops are over serving us, protecting our country from all of our rights and freedoms we have here. We're so very, very privileged as well. So if you're in the military or you have been in the military and you got past service, if you could stand and be recognized, love to give you a round of applause. All right, Johnny, you know this next guy coming up to talk?
I do know him a little bit. So we're going to bring up Derek Hausman. He's a fleet manager in our refrigerated division, and he's going to talk about cargo claims. And we've got Jeff Chisholm over here. We'll probably coax up here as well to speak. And so they'll probably tag on to your question here as well at this. Come on, Jeff.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna let Jeff start. I'm just kidding. So we all know the importance of generating revenue on our trucks. As a fleet manager, especially on the lease side, I understand what that means, what it represents. We want to hang on to every dollar we can, so we want to turn that revenue into some profit, right? We want to be able to put money in our bank accounts. We want to send it home to our families. That's really the goal. So keep that in mind as I go through a few things. I brought myself a little cheat sheet here. Hopefully I don't forget something. We want to make sure that we show up at these places, our customers, with a clean, dry trailer that's full of fuel, doesn't have a whole bunch of issues. We want to make sure we've inspected those things real good. We want to set ourselves up for success out of the gate. So the next thing is once we get there, we've got to make sure that this product is either loaded or gets loaded correctly, right? We've got to protect that product. We want to make sure that if it's a load that requires that we're on the dock, that we're doing a count, we're not taking people's word for it, but also that we're looking at how they're loading these whatever it is, this product. So we got to make sure that it's in there correctly. If you're not allowed on the dock, and I'm sure some of you have experienced that when we're supposed to be, the first thing you should do is let your fleet manager know. And then we've also got to communicate that to our sales team and our claims department so that we can make sure that we document it and that we keep ourselves away from being liable from any potential claim because something happened on that dock that we weren't aware of. The next thing is we've got documentation of what took place, right? We've got the bills. That's going to tell us everything from what we've got on there, where it's at on the trailer sometimes, what temperature we need to set it at, where it's going, all of that good stuff. And we're signing off on it and taking a legal obligation on, that it's done correctly and that we're ready to go. So one of the things we want to make sure we're doing is before you guys leave that shipper, we want you to call our live loaded department. If you can't reach them, we want you to call your fleet manager. Call me if you're on my fleet. If you're not on my fleet, call me. I'm willing to help you. But we've got to make sure we verify that information on the bills. And something that's bit us a few times is that temperature. Sometimes we've got the security guy telling us it's different than what it shows on our bills. Sometimes we got somebody at the shipper telling us that. The best thing you guys can do is follow the process we have in place. Circle the temperature that's on your bills. Not only does that draw your eyes to it, but anybody else that looks at it. Make sure you initial it. We know who circled it. You're putting your names on this when you sign for the bills already. If there's a change to it, make sure it's initialed. Call your friends. Tell them about the temperature. I'm just kidding. But honestly, we want to make sure we're paying attention to it, okay? Because that's one of the very first things that we can see an issue with is that temperature of the freight. And we've got to protect it, especially in produce season. Who likes going and getting cherries? Who likes going and getting apples? If we want to keep doing that, we got to make sure that we're protecting them. So another piece to this, I've already kind of touched on it, but communication. We want you guys to seek that verification. Get your fleet manager involved, okay? If there's an issue, most of my drivers, what they'll do is they'll send me a message. Hey, Derek, we're showing the temperature's 28. The bills say 26. I talked to the live loaded person. They said they're working on it, but just want to make sure you know. An extra set of eyes never hurts. Put that on your fleet manager. We welcome it. We want that information. We want to make sure that we get the right information for you. So the other half of this is how do we get it there, right? We got to watch our driving habits. We talk a lot about safety. We talk a lot about critical events. We need to make sure that we're getting that product there in one piece. We've got to make sure that we're not taking that curve too fast and getting a roll stability event. We want to make sure we're not having to hit the brakes too hard and get a hard brake event. We have something like that happen, the product shifts. We might have it in there with load locks. We might have done everything correctly, but now we've put it in jeopardy. Okay, so make sure that you're being careful out there, be safe out there, protect that product. And believe it or not, customers will ask us. They know that we have the technology to see it. They'll ask us when we have a load that's shifted, well, do you have any hard brakes? Do you have any critical events? The customers are asking that question. So make sure that we're doing everything we can to be safe. And when we call you guys on those things, it's a learning opportunity. It's not to tell somebody, oh, you've done a bad job. It's how can we keep you, this product, and everybody else out there safe? That's the whole point. The last one seems to be the easiest, but guess what? We get in a hurry sometimes. When that trailer is unloaded, they tell you you're good to go. Here's your bills, no problem. See you later. What they didn't put on your bills is that there was a pallet that was something they didn't order, and it's still on your trailer. Who's heard of that? Happens all the time. Unfortunately, sometimes we get in a rush. We make sure the reefer's off because we don't want to burn our fuel, right? We want to keep a few bucks. There's a pallet in the back of that trailer. Who wants to make that phone call to their fleet manager? Hey, I can't take that load you just sent me because I've got a claim. I've got a pallet in the back. Oh, by the way, it's fresh meat that's been sitting in there without the reefer on. Of course, nobody does. So take the time. If it's dark outside, use a flashlight. These smartphones, they may not be the smartest really, but they have flashlights on them too. Shine it in the back of the trailer. Get up in there and look at it. It could be worth thousands of dollars to you. So with that, Jeff, you got something to add?
I think everything you said is right on target. And, you know, I really appreciate our fleet manager teams coming up here and talking about these things and talking about claim prevention and ways to keep you successful and deliver our freight claim free. You know, it's really just a process. It's committing to doing certain steps on every single load and not letting your guard down. Kind of like our safety team was speaking earlier, you know, start of the day to end of the day. Just commit yourself to following all of these suggestions, communicating with your fleet manager, asking questions, and hopefully you won't have to talk to the claim department about any issues. And I will reinforce the part about the bills. You know, check those bills very carefully. When we do sign for a load, we are taking possession. It's in our care, custody, and control, and legally we are responsible. So make sure everything's good on the front end. Check your bills very carefully. Check your temps. Check your bills very carefully at delivery. And if you see any issues whatsoever, any overages, shortages, damages, please call the claims department. And let's make sure we take the steps to make sure you're protected and that we're protected.
Nothing else, we drop it. Questions, of course.
I was just going to say one of the things that is a kind of a best in class is taking pictures. Take pictures before you put your load locks in, taking pictures when you get to the receiver, taking pictures of your door, taking pictures of your seal, documenting the entire transaction with photo evidence.
That's great
Maybe
advice.
a selfie with the product behind you. Make sure it looks as good as you do, right?
All right, any other questions? All right, Prime Team, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Derek. We bring Mr. Steve Wookie up here to close us out this morning. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, Derek, that was a great job. Just so you all know, we have, I don't know, maybe 40 others just like Derek. These guys that are called fleet managers could really be presidents of small truck lines. They know their business very, very well, as you can tell. And his interest is your interest. He wants you to be successful. You got to trust your fleet manager. You got to get to know him, and he'll work with you. His incentive is based off of your productivity. So he wants you to win, and he wants to win. So a couple things I'd like to mention. By the way, my name is Steve Wookie. I'm in sales. It's a little tough out there right now, and we understand that, but we're working diligently at trying to fix that for everyone. Two things I want to get out in front of everyone. For those of you that are up in the Chicago area, we have our Manuka summer picnic going this evening from our terminal in Manuka. There'll be a bus going back and forth starting at 5 o'clock this evening. So I'm sure you all aren't going to make it, but there are some operators out there that will. And second of all, I was just talking to Tim, one of our operators that served in the armed forces. We have the Wall of Healing here in Springfield, Missouri. For those of you that don't know, those are veterans that lost their lives in the Vietnam War. In Washington, D.C., there's a beautiful wall up there that if you lost a family or a friend, you can identify that person. Go up and see it, touch it, feel it. We have that here in Springfield, Missouri, replica of it. And that's my era. That's Robert and ours era. And we have friends and certainly lost a few of those friends in the Vietnam War. So it's located where, Keith?
Wesley United Methodist Church on Republic Road. Today, tomorrow, and Sunday, it's open 24 hours. 24 hours.
So if you want to do a drive-by and witness that, that's a terrific thing. Look, safety is our highest calling here at Prime. Don't ever think differently. Those of you that are new, you might think you joined a health club. We care about you. We care about your health. We recognize that a healthy driver is a safer driver. We want to encourage you to do things that make you healthier. You've got a great team here, dietitians here that will also help you. I would say this regarding backing in and extended periods of time that a shipper is or a receiver is taking to unload you. We recognize when the doors are opened. You need to identify when they start unloading you. We can talk about that dwell time with the receiver. That will certainly exonerate us from a potential claim. So don't be a victim. Don't ever be a victim. Communicate with your fleet manager, with your safety people. We're all here to help you. We have a bunch of our vendors back here. You all, appreciate you. They'll be here after the meeting. If you have questions about anything regarding units, they're here and they're here every Friday to help you, whether it's trailers or whether it's power. Other than that, Robert's traveling. He would tell you that we owe you respect, we owe you earnings, and we're going to take care of those the very best we can. If you feel that any of those are not working for you, we've got a group of people that you can talk to, and we can work on making life better. So I thank you all very much. Please be safe, and thank you very much for all you do. Thanks, David.